still remember the exact moment I told her how I felt. My heart was beating so loud I was sure she could hear it through the phone. I had rehearsed it 100 times in my head. But when it finally came out, it sounded nothing like I planned. I like you more than a friend. There was silence. Not the kind of silence that feels peaceful, but the kind that makes your stomach drop. Then she laughed softly, not in a rude way, but like she thought I was joking. And then she said the words I'll never forget. You're like my brother. That was it. No drama, no argument, no big emotional scene. Just that sentence. And somehow that was worse. We had known each other for over a year before I ever caught feelings. At first, she was just someone I talked to in passing. A friend of a friend. Nothing special. Or at least that's what I told myself. But the more we talked, the more I started noticing things. The way she typed when she was excited. The way she would randomly send me voice notes just to complain about her day. The way she would say, "You're the only one I can talk to like this." At some point, without even realizing it, she became my routine. Good morning texts, late night conversations, random calls that lasted hours. And somewhere in between all that, I stopped seeing her as just a friend. But the problem was, she never stopped seeing me as one. Or maybe she did, just not the kind I wanted. To her, I was safe, comfortable, familiar. But to me, she was everything. The weird thing about catching feelings for your friend is how normal everything still looks on the outside. Nothing changes for them. But for you, everything changes. Every good morning message starts feeling personal. Every "how are you?" starts feeling deeper than it actually is. I would stare at my phone sometimes, waiting for her text, like it meant something more than it did. And when she did text me, I would overthink everything. If she added a full stop, I'd wonder if she was upset. If she used emojis, I'd wonder if she was flirting. If she took too long to reply, I'd wonder if she was talking to someone else. And most of the time, she would tell me about other guys she found cute, or random people she was talking to, and I would sit there listening, pretending it didn't affect me. Like it was normal, like it didn't hurt a little every time. But it did. The worst part was how comfortable she was around me. She would call me bestie without hesitation, or bro when she was teasing me. And every time she said it, I would smile on the outside, but something inside me would tighten a little. Because I started realizing something I didn't want to accept. I wasn't in her story the way she was in mine. There was a point where I tried to ignore my feelings. I told myself it would pass, that I was just overthinking things, that maybe I just liked the attention. So I tried to distance myself a bit. I replied slower. I stopped initiating conversations sometimes. But she noticed immediately. "Are you okay?" That one message ruined everything I was trying to do, because she cared, just not in the way I wanted. And that's what made it harder. She didn't ignore me. She didn't treat me badly. She treated me like someone important, just not romantically. And that confusion messed with my head more than rejection ever could. Because part of me kept thinking, what if? What if I told her? What if she felt the same? What if I was just scared for nothing? But the other part of me already knew the truth. And it was the part I kept trying to silence. Still, one night I made my decision. I couldn't keep pretending. I couldn't keep living in what if. Even if it ended everything, I needed clarity. I remember that night clearly. It was late, the kind of late where everything feels quieter than usual. We were on a call, laughing about something random like we always did. And then there was a pause, a small gap in the conversation. That's when I said it. My voice wasn't steady. My hands were shaking even though she couldn't see me. "I need to tell you something." She paused. "Okay, what is it?" I took a breath, a long one, and then I said it. "I like you." Silence. For a few seconds, there was nothing. No laughter. No reply. Just silence. So I continued. "I've liked you for a while now. Not just as a friend." I tried ignoring it, but I can't anymore. Another pause. Longer this time. I could hear my own breathing. Then she finally spoke. She didn't sound angry. She didn't sound shocked either. Just calm. Almost too calm. "I didn't know you felt like that." That was her first line. Then she sighed and said something I was already bracing for. Even before she said it. "You're really important to me." I held on to that sentence for a second, like maybe it meant something good was coming next. But it didn't. "But I don't see you like that." There it was. The moment I was avoiding. The truth. Not harsh. Not dramatic. Just simple. And simple somehow hurts more. She continued talking. "You're like my brother to me. I never thought you felt that way." That line. That exact line. It didn't just end the confession. It redefined everything I thought we were. Because in that moment, I realized something painful. She wasn't confused. She wasn't unsure. She already had a place for me in her life, and I had just tried to change it. But some places don't change, no matter how much you want them to. After she said it, I didn't know what to say, so I just laughed lightly, not because it was funny, but because I didn't know what else to do. I figured, I said, even though I didn't, even though I was hoping for the opposite. She kept talking like nothing happened, like we were still normal, still friends, still fine. But I wasn't. That was the strange part. For her, the conversation ended. For me, something ended. But I stayed on the call, listening, responding when I had to, pretending I was okay. And when we finally hung up, the silence in my room felt heavier than anything she said. I kept replaying the moment in my head. Not the rejection itself, but how normal she sounded while saying it. Like I hadn't just changed everything for myself, and she hadn't changed anything at all. That's when I realized the hardest truth about situations like this. Sometimes, you don't lose the person. You just lose your place in their heart. After that night, things didn't explode. We didn't stop talking immediately, but something shifted. I started replying less, not out of anger, but out of understanding. Because I finally saw things clearly. She wasn't leading me on. She wasn't playing games. She just never saw me the way I saw her. And that's something you can't force, or fix, or change. Eventually, distance became natural. Not painful anymore, just necessary. And over time, I learned something important. Feelings don't guarantee outcomes. Sometimes you can be everything to someone and still not be what they want. And that's not a failure. It's just reality. The last thing I remember thinking about her was this. She didn't lose a friend that day, but I learned how to stop losing myself in someone who didn't see me the same way. And maybe that's what growing up feels like. Quiet, unfair, but necessary.